Live from the County Seat Sports Grill in downtown Lillington, this is Camel Call Live. I'm Chris Sameyer, and tonight on the show, we'll have football, and we'll talk some football, we'll talk some recruiting, we'll talk a little bit of everything with Campbell head coach Mike Minter and safeties coach Patrick Miller. Also expecting a couple of our great safeties to come in here as well, Dorian Jones and Miles Rouser. A old guy and a new guy will be here to talk about the Campbell secondary. Plus, you've heard them all fall on our broadcast. We will get to know Lendl Suggs and talk about all of the amazing sports stuff going on here at Campbell. This week, our volleyball team, fresh out of securing their first regular season conference championship in history, they will try to make it back-to-back conference tournament titles coming up this weekend. And our women's basketball team, they are hosting UCF out of the American, a team that's going to be in the Big 12 next year. That's coming up tomorrow, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock at Gore Arena. South Carolina State comes in this Saturday at 2. It's crossover season. We talk about a lot of sports. But joining me now to talk football, he was a back-to-back national champion with the Nebraska Cornhuskers, an NFC champion with the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. He is Campbell head coach Mike Minter. And, Coach, a furious comeback by your Camels, come up just short, falling to Gardner-Webb 42-35 on Saturday. What are your takeaways from that game?
I think the first thing, Chris, is you got to look at the fight that's in these guys. They did not give up, even though we got in a 21-point hole. And, these guys really just came back, man, and really did not give up. Now, that's different than any other football team I've ever had here. Normally guys get into a situation like that, and, they kind of give up. And you haven't seen this with that football team. To do it, 2 weeks in a row, you get down, you give somebody 30-point lead, a 21-point lead, and then come back and give yourself a chance to win at the end of the game. Speaks a lot about, the heart, the buy-in, the fight, and, trying to overcome all the different injuries that we've been able to have. And then, losing games like we have. I mean, you talk about 4 weeks, Chris, 6 points, 8 points, 7 points. I mean, I don't know if that's ever been done before, but just craziness from that. And it's a tough season because, our hopes and our dreams was on winning the Big South Championship and getting to the playoffs. And we came up short with that. And really, man, the one time we got to see the team that we put together on the field at the same time was against Central.
Yeah.
That was the first time and the only time that we was able to see that football team. And, man, that seems so far away.
And, of course, that's a Central team who is still winning, and you really dismantled that team. It was a blowout win at home, 48-18, a team by 30 points. I want to go back to one of the things you said, though, Coach, because I think it's important, man. I've been here for every single one of your teams. It has taken you time because it was non-scholarship at first, and then it was scholarship. You have built a culture that you hit it right on the head. In past years, backs against the wall, lots of energy. This is a team that probably ends up losing these last couple of weeks by 21, 28, 30. Your guys stayed in there and fight and gave you a chance to win against all these odds, and that says something about what you're building in that locker room.
It definitely does. The energy, the buy-in, like I said, the kids, the way we doing things, all those things give you a chance to be able to do what we've done in those 4 weeks, on the road with 3 of them. And, again, man, nobody really care about all that, but these guys really love, the team. They love each other. That's why they fight for each other. And, the thing is that we got to also grow and understand how to play 4 quarters, not 2. And, again, man, it's different pieces that's in there that you're trying to gel together at the end of the year. And I really just feel like that teams that's successful at the end of the year, they don't have the injury bug. They're able to keep their guys together throughout the year, and that's a lot of luck that goes into that, right? And but at the end of the day, man, I'm proud of these coaches. These coaches have done a really, really great job of continuing to teach these young men what it means to be, a great football player, a great student athlete, a person that understands that it's bigger than just what you're doing on the football field. You got to understand the community side. You got to understand the classroom side. And these coaches have done a great job, Chris, of that and keeping these guys rolling and keeping these guys in tune and connected. And so this week, man, it's all about the seniors because they cannot play another game. And so we got to send these guys home with a win so they can feel better about themselves. It's the only way you feel better in football. You got to win games, man. And I guess in any sport. But in football, man, it's once a week. And so this is the last one. You don't win this one, you're going to feel bad for a long time. So let's get this win this week and make ourselves feel a little bit better about what we've done.
You said goodbye at home to a lot of seniors, you will, and because of injury, either fortunately or unfortunately, we've gotten to see a lot of your very talented freshman class, of course, coming off the number one FCS freshman recruiting class in the entire country. You are lined up to get another top 5, possibly number 1 recruiting class, and we'll talk with your recruiting guru and safeties coach Patrick Miller coming up to talk about these freshmen and these future freshmen as well. But we got to see the first career start for Chad Masco. This is a guy who had over 20 FBS offers. He was a guy who was committed to Florida State. That's the kind of talent he has. What was your analysis of his first start in college?
Well, it was great. Everybody got to see his talent, the arm talent, the ability to run one side of the field and throw it across the middle and right on the money. Of course, the game is faster than what he's used to in high school, but at the end of the day, I thought he handled himself at a high level and really gave us a chance to win the game. So I thought he did everything that he needed to do to give us a chance, and so the future is bright with him. He's probably going to break every record that Hodge set because the guy's just that talented and really at quarterback you got to be able to have other people confidence, and as a true freshman everybody knew we could still win the game with him, and that shows what he's done since he's been here. This guy's going to be a special player for Camel for a long time.
No doubt, indeed, as he has really stepped up here, having to come in and lead you guys with the comeback against Bryant, and then almost pulling off another comeback this week. Hey, some old guys really gave a tip of the cap to everybody. Bryant Barr, he almost had his third 100-yard game. He's been injured for half of the year. A lot of people might not know that. He was either injured or not 100%, but when he's fully healthy, you see what that super senior can do.
Man, Barr had a great game. Really got the running game going. Again, we look at the offensive line that was out there. You looking at really some threes that's out there. Your third tackles that's out there. Your third guard that's out there, your third center that's out there. And these guys came together. I challenged them early on in the week. Hey, guys, nobody going to come save you. Tyler and, Big Mike and all the starters, they can't come play for you today. You got to be the guys. And they played the best game I've ever seen.
They did.
With an offensive line that just came together in 3 days to make this happen. So,
and by the way, for everybody out there, because we don't say this before the game, but you had a lot of third stringers on your offensive line. You only had one guy from the beginning of an all-conference offensive line that was in his original position, and these guys came together and really paved the way.
They really did, man. Coach Anad did a great job of bringing them together, and they, what they did, they lived together literally they stayed at somebody's home, one of the linemen home, and they stayed with each other all week with Chad Masco with them, right? And this is how serious they took it. Because I said something in the meeting on Monday, you guys need to live together. And they really took it there and did it for that week. And I thought it paid off because them guys had the best game. So we was able to run the ball with Brian Barr. Brian Barr was running through guys. I mean, it was people there to make the tackles, but he was making them miss and running through the tackles that they was trying to attempt to get him down. Just a great game by him. It was great for him to be back, healthy and strong and ready to go. And we definitely gonna need him this week.
Austin Height, he went from being, that's a good story. It's good to see somebody that works so hard and does his job have a good game, and then he had another good game, and then he had another good game, and then once again he's your leading receiver, 6 catches for 86 yards. It's not a fluke. It's not just he's the fourth option and he's open. He's becoming your guy downfield.
He really is, and that goes to show you, when you continue to work and you continue to stay in the process, man, things begin to look up for you, and things begin to work in your favor. And he's good, to your point. It's not just hard work. He got talent. And so, we're going to really miss him. I think he was the heart and soul of that receiver group, and he's going to be sorely missed in the leadership role that he provided all year long.
Yeah, a total of 26 catches for 402 yards and 2 TDs. Luckily, we didn't have to talk about injuries on your special teams because you just have a bunch of dudes that want to play special teams, and, of course, the coach of the row that puts them all there. And so you have a name that I haven't called yet this year or the year before, but, of course, Noah Caston recovers a muffed punt in the end zone. That was such a spark in the game in the first. Tell me about Noah Caston.
Well, Noah is a walk-on that just got here, right? So he was playing at D2 school, and he knew Coach Miller, and so they was able to reconnect and come here and walk on and start to play here. So he plays backup safety for us. He didn't play strong safety. He didn't play free safety. So we got to have him, kind of roaming around. Very smart, athletic kid, and just a great football player. Now we put him on special teams, and then he makes a big play like he did on that punt recovery for a touchdown. And so, look, you got to be running down the field. You got to be out hustling somebody else with effort to be able to get down there and catch that, get that fumble in the end zone when the kid dropped it. I mean, that's just big for him. And I think that's going to be a big, momentum change in how he goes in the offseason and get prepared for the next season.
I mean, how great is it to be for the first time in your career here? And you started off in coaching. You were a special teams coach for a while, so you know the thing inside and out. Of course, your NFL career as a safety, but you know it inside and out. And this year, I feel like this is a Mike Minter special teams squad, and it has paid off. I mean, again, the punts, the field goals, the coverage, it has all been there, and it just added to a really good team this year.
It really did. Again, Chris, I look back and I say, if my team would have been able to stay intact, oh my. But here's the other thing to it, right? The flip side is that now we get all these young guys, a lot of reps. And so coming into next year, man, you're going to be even deeper because of that situation too. So, but, man, the special teams really played a really, really big piece to what we was doing this year. I told you last year, I said, man, we're gonna go find us a kicker, and I don't care what it takes, we're gonna find us one, and we did. We're gonna find some depth that can run down and make plays, in the coverage game and then return game, and we was able to do that. And so, man, we not done. We're not done at all, and it's just the next step in this process of building this football team to be, some competitive team in the CAA.
You step out of conference for the final game of the regular season, 2 o'clock of this Saturday on ESPN+. Campbell goes to Dover, Delaware, to take on Delaware State out of the MEAC. What can you tell us about the Hornets, Coach?
Well, they athletic. They're HBCU. And so we got to be ready for that. It's going to be cold. Guys got to understand that you got to warm up a different type of way. You got to be able to stay warm because of the weather. It's going to be tough to run and hit in that. And so you got to bring a different type of mindset to that game. And these guys are tough. Their defense is not giving up a lot of points. They're giving up about 20 points a game, which is really good for them. And, offensively, their quarterback is their main guy. He's the one that makes it go. And we got to control him. And then we cannot let this running game get started. We talk about this all the time. When we stop the run, we beat teams pretty bad. And when we don't, we got to come back with a miracle. You're down 30 points and you come back and try to win the game at the end. So we got to stop the run. And that's been our battle cry all season long. So our D-line got to be able to find ways to get off blocks and make it happen.
Coach, you talked a little bit about it, and I know it would take another 3 shows to fill up talking about your 20-plus seniors and what have they have meant to you. You have some guys that have been on this team since Moses went to Campbell, but also you got some guys that were your first scholarship recruiting class. So this senior class is extra special to you.
No, it is. I mean, Dorian Jones, who you guys are hear from, later on in the show, he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that was our first recruiting class that we was able to go out to Florida and go down to Florida and get him and bring him. And he's been a key piece of us building what we've building over the years. And so, just great kids, man, guys that understood how to continue to work hard and build their mind, build their body. So when they got to become a senior, they can be a great leader. And so I think our leadership on our football team has been the strongest it's ever been this season because of guys like Dorian Jones, Julian Hill, guys like that that really paved the way for everybody else. Jackson Hayes, who's our long snapper, one of our captains. Again, a guy that we recruited, and he part of that first scholarship class too. And it's gonna be sad, man, to see them guys go because they've really helped pave the way to what Campbell football is trying to become.
And let's be honest, it was a bit of a leap of faith from them because you guys had some success in the Pioneer Football League, but you're convincing guys to come to Campbell University to play for you. You're the only scholarship class, so you're going to tell them, the talent level isn't going to be there. It was a leap of faith for them, wasn't it?
It really was because they had to come in and not play too. So
yeah, that's true. Everybody had to redshirt because you were still in a Pioneer. I even forgot about that.
So
that's tough.
I had 2 football teams going on at the same time during that season when we recruited these guys. The crazy thing is that in 2018, 2019. When we are now getting ready to get started. And that 2019 team, as we get into the Big South, right, we 6-5, man.
Yeah.
We on our way, and then COVID hit, and it kind of, threw everybody for a loop on, okay, how do you do that now? We decided to play 4 FBS games, which kind of sets you back from a physical standpoint. And so now when we come back in 2021, you're really starting over again, right? And so 2022 is really your second year of trying to rebuild that momentum you had in 2019. But why am I talking about 2019? Because those guys are the guys who was the heart of the 2019 movement that really 2020 knocked this movement down a little bit, and then now we got to keep coming up. So they got to be tough enough to be able to say, you know what, I understood what happened there, but we're going to still stay here, and we're going to still – because they could have transferred somewhere else. We're going to still stay here, and we're going to build this thing the right way. And in 2022, we're going to win. And I feel bad for them because they really put a lot into this, Chris, to try to get this done this year. And man, we're just not good enough yet at that overall, because of the injuries. You're just not good enough. So you got to get more depth. You got to get all those things. But you got to go get guys like Dorian. You got to go get guys like Julian Hill. Those type of leaders, man, is really paved the way for young guys like Miles, right? So now Miles get a chance to spend time with a Dorian Jones and get a chance to feel what that looks like to be an older guy.
A salute to our seniors, definitely a salute to our seniors, and we will talk about the future, freshmen and beyond, when joining Coach Minter here. After this next break will be our safeties coach and recruiting guru, Patrick Miller. That's coming up after the break. This is Camel Call Live from the county seat in downtown Lillington.
We're no etiquette experts, but biting into your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich and ending up with a whole pickle slice dangling from your mouth isn't impolite. It's human. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hi, Campbell fans. I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Sure, McDonald's breakfast is good. But getting that McDonald's breakfast 2 minutes before it stops being served, that tastes even better.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are live in downtown Lillington. This is Camel Call Live. If you don't get a chance to hear the live show, we will have this on a podcast wherever you get your podcast. The Camel Call Live podcast drops every Tuesday at noon. Stay tuned a little bit later on the show. We'll have play-by-play man Lendl Suggs. We'll also talk to Miles Rouser and Dorian Jones from the Campbell secondary, and to talk a little bit about the secondary and a little bit more, he is joining us now. He is our safeties coach and recruiting guru in Patrick Miller, joining me and Coach Minter up here on stage. And first of all, Patrick, I have to say, give us your scouting report of what you see from the Delaware State offense as we get set to go up to Dover this week.
Well, the offense runs through the quarterback. I think he's an athletic guy. Struggles to throw the ball deep, but really everything flows through him. They want to run the football. They do both a mixture of gap scheme and zone scheme, but they want to slow down the game, eat up the clock, and keep the game close. Let their defense try to keep them in the ball game. Yep.
Speaking of defense and keeping you in ball games, your safety room has been so deep, a great mix of experience and young guys. Brag a little bit on your safeties, if you would, please.
Yeah, I couldn't be more blessed to have the group I have. Dorian Jones has been an amazing leader for the group. Another guy like Aaron Maddox. I couldn't have walked into a better situation with my first position job as a D1 coach. those two guys have been enormous to the growth of the young guys like Miles Rouser, and it's really been a blessing just to have them. And some of the young guys stepping up. Miles improving week to week in understanding the game and, moving with the speed of the game, changing from the high school to college level. And the depth also. Guys like Noah Castron as a walk-in coming in, moving up to the second string, giving us even more depth when we got some injuries. It's been a big help for us.
Now, I've learned that always the foundation of this answer is it's because of Coach Minter, but I'll ask you, how did you find your way to Buies Creek, North Carolina, to come and join this team and coaching staff?
Yeah, that's a funny story. The old DC Western Gloucester and me come from the same coaching tree of Scott Stoker, so he gave me a call, and talking to Coach Mint, it was a perfect situation. I couldn't be happier to be here.
What is your football background? Because you're a young guy. You graduated undergrad in what, 2017?
I believe so, around there.
Okay. Okay. So tell me your football journey.
Yeah, so I went straight into coaching at a small Division III school in Reading, Pennsylvania, at Alverna University for a couple years, where I coached defensive line and linebackers, and then I was lucky enough to get an opportunity down at UL Monroe, FBS in the Sun Belt, and learn from some really talented older coaches that have been in the game for a lot of years, and then really expanded my coaching tree and network to give me a lot of opportunities. And then there I kind of assumed the role of recruiting for them, and we had a really good class in the COVID year in 2020, and then kind of kept that rolling, when we came to Campbell.
Coach Minter, what made you look at this very young guy with some good experience but still very young and saying, hey, I want to make him a part of this coaching staff?
Well, Chris, when you meet people, you know right away what they bring to the table. The guy's very intelligent, right? So, I'm not talking about like just normal intelligence, right? His IQ is very, very high, and so me and him can have conversations that is, I can't have with most people, and I'm like, man, this guy gets it, right? Well, he can recruit, so that helps, okay, because he knows people. He knows how to deal with people, to communicate with people, to then get them to trust what he's saying. It's very important. He can talk football. So we sit around, we talk football all day long, and he's getting it right away. Well, he's young, but he's getting it. Like, you shouldn't be able to get some of this stuff I'm talking to you about, Pat, and he's getting it, right? So I'm like, okay, the guy, he has it, all the tools. Let's see how he's going to do with running his own room, right? About a week into it, because I'm checking. I'm like, okay, what you running? All right, how you teaching these boys?
Because of course in
right,
NFL safety for 10 years,
hey, look.
no pressure, no pressure for Coach Miller too, being in a safety room with the head coach and former NFL safety looking over your shoulder.
Right, I'm like, man, we putting this new defense in. Okay, all right, Pat, what you doing? So about a week into it, I quit going in there. I said, oh, he got it. He understands. He get it.
A week into it. You're not fibbing to me right now.
No, I'm seriously asking, man. About a week into it, I'm like, man, I'm good. This guy get it. He's going to be a great football coach. And so, from that point on, man, it's just more sound bites with me and him. More than a conversation. It's just sound bites. Hey, what about this? What about that type thing? All right, Coach, what do you want in this situation? That's really what it became, and we so much alike when we think about the game the same way. So it becomes a very, very simple, easy transition for him to become who he's going to become. He's going to be a great coach in this business.
A great coach and already a great recruiter. I'm glad you mentioned your previous stop because you had a hand in a sensational recruiting class then, but last year, Coach Minter comes in, tells his coaches he wants the #1 recruiting class in all of FCS. Not going to say anything about past recruiting classes, but they weren't anywhere close to the number one recruiting class in FCS. Enter Braxton Harris, enter Patrick Miller. What did you do to get the number one recruiting class in all of FCS, basically from scratch?
Started connecting the message of Coach Minter to the same guys that I knew from my previous experience, and started laying the groundwork, making new connections with coaches, and just really relaying the message of what Campbell is and what Campbell can be. And with that, the guys wanted to follow, and coaches want to send their kids to us, and kids want to come play for Coach Mint and the rest of the Campbell staff. And that's where it kind of grew. And then even moving into this year, it just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does it take in that digital age? How do you talk to the coaches, and then how do you talk to the future student athletes? How does that work for those that really don't know the recruiting aspect of it?
It's each individualized. It's really a people-person business. You just got to understand who you're talking to and who you're building a relationship to. I mean, some kids, they just want to text or message DM through Twitter. Some coaches only want phone calls. Some coaches only want texts. But it's really an individual-to-individual basis of how you communicate. This year, with guys being farther away, it's been more phone calls and FaceTimes. I mean, because they're coming from such a long distance. Last year, when they got to see the school much earlier, even in the summertime, those guys more were text-based. But it just changes from year to year.
Coach Minter, how has your recruiting changed? Obviously, we see what it brings in. Obviously, number one recruiting class in all of FCS. But what have they done to really make it as good as anybody in the country?
Well, I think, again, it's like what Pat is saying. You got to get the message to the kids and to the parents. And then you got to show them that it's really true. And when they get here, they feel the energy of the staff. They feel the love of everybody. And they feel the message that Pat and the other coaches have been telling them all year long. So it's confirmed. Once you get things confirmed in life, man, you now make that move. And all you have to do is get one, and then it becomes a movement. And we got one that committed, and then now everybody else is like, okay, I want to do that, right? And it became a movement, and it's a movement this year, and it's not going to stop. That part is not going to stop because that's who you are at this time. And so, that's really the formula that we use, man. It's you gotta build a relationship. So these coaches are texting and calling and FaceTime all day long, every day, a part of the day that they free, they doing that. And so once you build that relationship with people, they begin to trust you. And then if they able to trust you, they now come visit. They go visit and they see the other stuff that's a part of Camel football, the university. They're like, oh, wow, we didn't even know the university was like this. The campus is beautiful, man. We love this. And of course, it's North Carolina, so you're going to really like that, too.
Yeah.
And so all these things, man, really comes into the play of being able to continue to build these great recruiting classes that we were able to build. And, at the end of the day, now it's time you got to put wins to it, man. So, because people want to be successful. So how can you help kids be successful in today's world? And I tell my coaches this all the time. When you win, it's easier to explain life to people. And they're going to be open. So that's part of the thing, too. We're going to have a lot of guys get a chance to go to the National Football League. Well, I know a lot of recruits that want to be, go to that next level. Well, you can no longer say that if we go to Campbell, can we get seen every NFL team have been in at our field house, and you've seen them. So it's not like you didn't see them. I'm talking about the recruits that's here today, and now they can talk to other kids and say, hey, man, the Jets was here, the Giants was here, the Panthers was here, so on and so forth, and now it's become a normal thing. And once guys get a chance to get paid, man, they want to be part of that, man. You're going to get loved, you're going to get developed, and you're going to get a chance to go to that next level.
Coming off the #1 recruiting class in all of FCS, you guys are lining up another high one as well. I know signing day in a couple of weeks, and there's only so much you can say. But Coach Miller, tell me what excites you about this next recruiting class and how it worked, being so high last year and then setting up another high one this year.
I would say depth in this recruiting class is what I'm most excited for. You're bringing in a lot of talent that will provide, immediate help for second string and third string. So when you hit that injury bug next year, you're not going to be in as bad a shape, I would say. So it's all about depth. I think you're going to have players that come in and ready, but you have some talented starters as well. So it'll provide good competition all across the board. And I think the difference in this recruiting class is we hit at almost every position, which is a little bit different than last year. Where we got talented kids coming in at every single spot. And what you're saying about duplicating and moving all forward for this class, I would say the groundwork was pretty much laid and kids knew who Campbell was even across the country. And that really did help expedite the process of getting kids committed as early as we did, which even in my past experiences, we got kids committed at an extremely early rate this year. Before the season even began, and that was pretty impressive.
I think what was impressive and opened my eyes is not like you're just getting the best guys from North Carolina anymore. When you guys went on your recruiting week and the off week, you guys were both in California, and you came back with guys that committed. Amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. California's been good to us. So we have, I think, over 10 committed kids from California.
Wow,
yeah.
Do you really?
And it's looking like we're projected to finish #1 again, and actually right now where it stands, we'd be the top-rated G5 recruiting class in the country, not just FCS. We may even break into the top 50. So we're doing special things, and I think if we keep on this pace in the next month, we might finish with the highest-rated recruiting class in FCS history.
Hey, refresh our memory. When is early signing day?
December 21st.
December 21st. Christmas may just come early for the second straight year to Mike Minner and this coaching staff and all of us. Thank you all for all of your hard work and that. We'll talk to some of the student athletes, including one of those highly rated recruits that has been showing why he was so highly rated on the field. Miles Rouser, Dorian Jones, two of the best from the Campbell secondary, coming up after the break. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Camel Call Live.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime. Perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes. We create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded championship-level facility projects such as the Eakes Athletics Complex renovation for Campbell Soccer and a new strength and conditioning space inside Gore Arena. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund a new sports medicine facility, a new locker room for women's basketball, and a new digital media lab for athletes to work on their personal brands. Providing championship resources for Campbell student athletes. That's the mission of the Fighting Camel Club. For more information, go to GoCamel.com and click on the Give button.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bow time.
Oh, welcome back to Camel Call Live. The Fighting Camel football team will play their final game of the regular season all the way up in Delaware. Campbell at Delaware State. That game's going to be 2 o'clock on ESPN+. You can also hear Lendl Suggs play-by-play on the Varsity Network and GoCamels.com. Lendl will be in to talk basketball, football, volleyball, a little bit of everything for our final segment on the show. But we are pleased to be joined by one of the best to ever play in a Campbell uniform and the highest-rated recruit ever to put on a Campbell uniform. We have not the past just yet, but we have one of the best and, of course, the future. Miles Rouser is the future, and Dorian Jones has been such a rock back there in the secondary for so many years. And Dorian, what was it like on senior day at Barker Lane Stadium after all you've been through?
I'm not going to lie, it was emotional. Like, I usually talk to my guys, the team and the secondary as well before we go out there, but I couldn't really get too many words out because I was trying to hold tears back, to be honest. And, running out that tunnel, hugging Coach Mint for the last time, everything kind of just tried to hit me. And I ran out, my family was standing on the 50, it was a surreal moment, and obviously, I'm trying to prepare for a game, so I'm still locked in, but, I did give myself that time to take everything in. I knew the day was going to be special.
Well, you turned that emotion into an unbelievable special day. Campbell needed a spark to start the third quarter, and the spark they got was a ball that ended up on the turf. You scooped it up and went 29 yards for the touchdown, a scoop and score. We've seen you been picking balls out of the air for a long time, Dorian. What was it like to do that at a time when your team needed it the most?
It's crazy because coming out of the half, I was like, I'm about to score. Like, I was telling everybody out loud.
Did you really?
Yes, sir. Because, I caught 2 interceptions in the first half, and both of them got called back due to penalty. But I was like, it's already destined. It's already written. So I'm about to go make something happen for the team, running to the ball, just playing hard. Paul Hudson, he knocked the ball out. And I saw it landed right in my hands, really. And all I saw was green. So the rest was history.
You have a lot of talent back there in the secondary. You are a leader back there in the secondary. Well, what do you like about your guys back there?
These guys are they're smart, athletic. We're really close. That's like my second family almost in the secondary. These guys, we do everything together. After practice, extra work, extra film, extra meetings. They come to me, ask me for questions. I can come to them as well. And we hold each other accountable too. You know what I'm saying? No guy left behind, so those are my brothers.
One of your brothers, a younger brother, is sitting to your left. His name is Miles Rouser. We know him about all the play that he's been really from day one in the secondary. So, Miles, I'll ask you this first of all. A 4-star recruit from all the way up in Detroit, Michigan. How do you end up down in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina?
Really, I'd say relationship, like the relationship I built with Coach Mint was amazing. I feel like he was real. 2 real people came together. I came down here. It was all the truth.
You were one of the first dominoes to go, and then everybody else with stars by their name started to pick up and started to join this crew, the number 1 FCS freshman recruiting class in the entire country. What is it like for you freshmen knowing that you're such an historic class?
I'd say, like, we feel great about it because it's like we here to build something new. Like, people already been here building, but it's like we put a cap on it. Like, we here to build something over that.
Now that you've been here to this football program, what do you like the most about Campbell football?
I'd say the relationships I built with everybody on the team. Like, our relationship's so strong, I can go to them about anything, not just about football.
Indeed. Okay, you're from Detroit, Michigan. We're going up to Delaware to play. It ain't going to be warm up there. What are you telling all the guys about cold weather? It's not going to bother you, is it?
I mean, I ain't really used to it either. Like, I wear big coats, so I'm going to have to be in the Under Armour, a little long sleeve.
Dorian, you're from Orlando, man. Are you looking at the weather forecast and thinking a little bit about what it's going to be like on Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely some pressure, but you can ask my teammates. I actually don't wear any, like, thermal or long sleeve in practice whether it's cold or not. Like,
really?
I either put some Vaseline on my arms or I just, go out there and thug it out. I feel like it's really a mental thing. especially me being from Florida, I'm not used to feeling the cold, so I kind of force myself into it so that, like, you're going to see Saturday I won't be wearing sleeves. Like, you're going to see.
Dorian, take me back to that. We talked about you're a very special class, one of the first scholarship classes at Campbell. Campbell didn't have the national name that it did now. Campbell didn't have all the wins that it did now. What made you, a guy from Florida, say, that's where I'm going to go?
The Campbell felt like home, you know, because it's funny how Miles sitting next to me, he's the highest rated recruit. I was at the time. I was also at 3 stars by my name coming out of high school. And, you know, I had a few different options. Things were a little left with my recruiting, but Coach Minter came all the way down from Campbell to Florida and spoke to me, him and a few of the other coaches, and it just felt like home when I came on my visit. You know, everything was genuine. There was no sugarcoating. Everything was, they told me exactly what it was, and they talked to me about life outside of football as well, you know, how they're going to take care of me and develop me as a man, and also how I was going to be able to get my education. So, you know, everything just kind of clicked. Like, it was really a no-brainer. Like, I left the visit knowing, I didn't commit on the spot, but I left the visit knowing that this would be the place for me.
That's amazing. So much more than football this place has been to you.
Definitely.
When you think about your time at Campbell, what are going to be some of your biggest memories?
You know, the fun times I had off the field with the guys, of course on the field, obviously, you know, making plays and stuff, that's always going to be a memory. But, you know, the relationships I've built are going to be lifetime relationships, you know. That's something big, you know, coaches and players, and even some professors as well. You know, some of my advisors I'm still pretty close with, you know, that I'm not even taking their class anymore, but they still, you know, they still check on me as well. So just the relationships I built and the fun times I've had with people off the field.
You have your degree. You've done great academically here. What is next for Dorian Jones?
Next for Dorian Jones, I'm gonna be training for Pro Day, of course. You know, I'm gonna pursue the next level. But I'm getting my second degree in marketing at the end of this semester as well. So, you know, I will have those 2 degrees to, you know, land on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After football is over.
After a long football career.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. All right, Miles. You are starting early in your football career, but I know you guys are in the film room a lot. So Delaware State, final opponent coming up this Saturday. What do you see about their offense? What are you guys going to have to do?
I feel like we're going to have to apply that pressure on them. Like, the defense going to have to come out, lock up man-to-man, and individually people got to make their plays.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, tell me about Detroit, Michigan. My aunt and uncle lived up there back in the day, but I haven't been to Detroit for a long time. What is it like up there?
I mean, it's what you make out of it, so.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, you can do.
What do you like about Bowie's Creek? Probably the complete opposite of where you grew up in Detroit. What do you like about it down here?
I'd say being in Detroit, like the city, so being here is more kind of country, so it's like I always like being by myself most of the time, so it gave me like a clear space. Like it's out of the what I can say. It's not what I'm used to, so
yeah,
it's good. I'm good with being uncomfortable.
Yep. And Dorian, what are you going to miss most about the creek once you leave it?
Like he just said, you know, it's a quiet area. I'm from a big city as well, so I kind of miss that peace and quiet a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm gonna miss the area. I didn't at first coming from a city. I think I would miss it as much, but you know, I think the area for sure. I'm saying it's been my home for 5.5 years, so definitely.
2 of the best, the past after one more week and the future, both the highest rated recruits in their class and in Campbell football history. He is Dorian Jones. He is Miles Rouser. Guys, thanks for coming down and talking to us.
Appreciate you.
All right, one more segment. When we come back after the break, we'll bring up our play-by-play man, Lendl Suggs. That's coming up after this. We'll also draw for free basketball tickets coming up after this on Camel Call Live.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded championship-level facility projects such as the Eeks Athletics Complex renovation for Campbell Soccer and a new strength and conditioning space inside Gore Arena. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund a new sports medicine facility, a new locker room for women's basketball, and a new digital media lab for athletes to work on their personal brands. Providing championship resources for Campbell student athletes. That's the mission of the Fighting Camel Club. For more information, go to GoCamel.com and click on the Give button.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Welcome back to Camel Call Live in downtown Lillington. This is the county seat, your place for sports, your place for drinks, your place for food. They are an unbelievable host, and we will be here every Monday night. It doesn't just end with football season, through our winter sports season and into the spring. This will be the place for fun every Monday night and the place for free stuff. It's cold outside in North Carolina for the first time this fall, so we're giving away a special edition Camel's Toboggan. That will go to 625-666. Well, that's a lucky number. 625-666 for the toboggan. We do have a winner. Okay, and now one more. This will be for a 4-pack of tickets for an upcoming basketball game as Campbell men's and women's basketball in full swing. So the winner of the 4-pack of basketball tickets, 625-688, 625-688. You know what? We'll make it a 5-pack of tickets. Come on up here. I'll write it on that. And thank you so much. If you call that number, tell them you won, and we'll get you a 5-pack. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to the county seat for all the great stuff that they do. And thank you to the man to my left. He is only a junior at Campbell, but he is quickly becoming one of the voices and the faces that you know. He is Lendl Suggs, and he has been the radio voice for Campbell football this year. And first of all, Lendl, tell me about kind of your beginning. How did you get into this whole thing? How did you find your way to Campbell in the first place?
Yeah, so I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Grew up in a small area, small town, so I kind of grew up in the backwoods of Cumberland County, right on the line with Robeson County, if you're familiar with that area, right in the Parkton. So it's one of those one stoplight you're through, and there's the post office, and then that's it. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm from. And I came to Campbell, got a full ride scholarship through ROTC.
Valedictorian. Come on, don't be shy.
5.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, I guess so. But, yeah, top 5 in my class. I did excellent throughout high school. Came here on a full ride, and ever since I got here, I've been in the back room, sort of say, with the trailer and the production of our ESPN programs for our sports during the COVID year. Would actually, during the COVID year, saw me get some reps at director and producer and different things like that. And then one day I'm producing a game, and there's a guy sitting at the table called Chris Haymeyer, and he's producing he's calling a men's basketball game, and he was like, "Hey, you have a great voice. Do you want to get into it?" And I'm like, you have no idea how bad I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I took the opportunity, and here I am 2 years later.
Man, that's awesome, and you have been doing such a great job. You know, this year we tried you out with some things last year and had you on the air with some softball and different things like that. But coming into it, the full-time stuff that you're doing right now, what is the biggest kind of surprise when you do a football game at that level?
Man, when you do a football game at this level, you never know what can happen in a game. You just never. I mean, let's just take this past weekend's game
No
for an
doubt,
example.
yeah.
I mean, at halftime, I say it on the radio, especially on the Campbell Digital Network, but I look through orange and black glasses, man. When the team is up, I'm up. When they're down, I'm down. And so you just never know when Dorian Jones gets it in a fumble and runs it into the end zone, and that sparks the whole game. You just never know what could happen in athletics. And so it's the unpredictability that keeps you on your toes, and you have genuine excitement, genuine reactions to the things that are going on the field or whatever, on the court, wherever it is.
I thought it's been such a great fall, and you've been along for the ride, the great start by football. But our fall teams, who were all expected to do well, did well. We have our men's soccer regular season title winners in the Big South, women's soccer regular season title in the Big South, and a program that you're close to. Not only have you called games for, you've been the PA announcer for the last couple of years, the Campbell volleyball team last year winning the Big South Conference tournament for the first time in program history. They had never won a trophy before they won it. And then coming back this year and following it up with a regular season trophy. They won the regular season title on Saturday. What can you say about that volleyball team?
Well, volleyball, it starts with Greg Gurl, first of all. Before we get there, I just want it to be known that I'm dubbing the move to the CAA and all the trophies that we're going to win in the conference this year, I'm dubbing it the greatest heist of the century. So all of the conference tournament, all the championships that we win, we take with us. So that's what I'm dubbing it. But it starts with Greg Gurl, and you can just tell that from the top down that everybody just wants to win. They want to do something that's never been done before. And consider it that we're nobodies from nowhere, and nobody is really looking for Campbell athletics before now. We have really put ourselves on the map, and that starts with volleyball. I mean, I was sitting at the scores table trying to be as impartial as I can, calling the entire Big South tournament. But when you have a moment like that and you finally take down a rival and to win a title on top of that, that's just big. And volleyball is absolutely excellent. Yeah,
and our Campbell volleyball team, to come, they get a chance to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament for the second straight year. Unfortunately, and it works on a rotating basis, but the tournament, even though Campbell has a number one seed, will be at High Point, a team picked to win the conference that Campbell has beat twice. You go back to last year, they have beaten 4 times, and they will be the team to beat in the conference tournament. Campbell starts on Saturday, and then Sunday at 4 o'clock, if they make it, will most likely be playing High Point.
Yeah.
The odds are stacked against them, but again, the odds have been stacked against them all year. They beat High Point twice.
And it's just something that you just never expect. These girls are firing on all cylinders. I mean, volleyball has been absolutely excellent this year, and you talk about a 10-win streak in the conference. When I called the game against I think it was Gardner-Webb, the run started with them, but they hadn't lost a conference game since November of the previous year. That is a crazy stat when you think about it. So they're on a roll, and you can tell they're playing confidently, and they like being the underdog, and they just thrive well when they are.
It is a volleyball team again that had that 10-match win streak where just they could not lose. So it'll be fun to see if they can punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Of course, basketball has started. We have both called a couple of games. We'll start with this women's team. What a big game, taking on Central Florida tomorrow, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. They have they took care of NC Central at NC Central this week, and it seems like Ronnie Fisher's group, who won a regular season title last year, just do not miss a beat.
Well, and you have to. What makes it more impressive is you have to look at what they lost. you lost Luana Sorano, you lose Taya Bolden, you lose Nani Carter, and it just seems like they just haven't missed a beat at all. This is a small roster. You're looking at 11 players on the entire roster, but Shai Tooley has stepped up. I mean, Big South Player of the Week honors this week, and you're seeing Brittany Stave, you're seeing Christabella Zuma kind of come into their own, and that starts with coaching. It takes a coach to bring the best out of players.
Yep.
You know, we talk about player development often, but you have to kind of dig into them and make it hard. But these girls are going to be firing off cylinders, and then you have Boone and Nunez and Knuckles who are coming up. So this is going to be a really, really good season for women's basketball and even men's basketball as well.
Yeah, our men's basketball team 1-1, but a very impressive performance at PNC Arena on Friday. They took NC State to the brink. It was a one-possession game late. What did you see from the men's team? What I've seen from the men's team is three-point shooting, and I think that's been the biggest place where they have sort of lacked in the past few years. We really haven't had consistent three-point shooting with multiple shooters. At this point in the game, I wouldn't be upset with anybody shooting a three ball. I mean, you have Devin Dunn, who's a sniper, sharpshooter who can pull up from any place behind the three-point line, but you also have the bigs and Jay Powell and those guys, the transfers. Now, mind you, they've only played 2 games together, but it almost looks like they're kind of in mid-season form almost, where they're starting to gel a little better. I know they had, a game that should have been maybe bigger against St. Augustine, but in PNC Arena, those guys look great, and it's gonna be great for that team. Coach McGeehan, they're doing a good job. He has a whole new staff this year, all first year assistant coaches for him, and so it's going to be great to see how they turn out. But they're going to be a lot more competitive than people have expected them to be in the Big South. Yep, I agree. He is Lendl Suggs. He's doing a fantastic job. You will hear him on the Varsity Network starting at 1:45 this weekend for the final Campbell football game of the season. The Campbell men's basketball team will be up at App State Friday, Saturday, and Sunday playing in the App State tournament. Volleyball this weekend as well. For Lendl, I'm Chris, Coach Minner, Coach Miller, Dorian Jones, Miles Rouser saying so long. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. This